welcome in. It is day 262, and you're speaking with the Meeples Champion. And today we're going over a game that I just got to play recently. I had a big game day that I invited a bunch of friends over. They basically were playing from 10 in the morning all the way till 10 at night. So I got a lot of new gameplays in. And one of these gameplays was a much smaller game, but it was fun. We actually played this more than any other game. It was a two-player play together, although we could play with more than that if we had the players at the time. The game is called Regicide. Now, realistically, you could play this game with just a 52-card deck. You don't need to have this particular game. However, it's nice to have a little bit of theme sometimes. This one's just got different warriors and fighters and animals and such on the cards. Now, the concept is you shuffle up your kings, you put them down. You shuffle up your queens, you put them down. You shuffle up your jacks, put them on top. Shuffle up the rest of the deck and pass it out. And you're going to get 7 cards to each player, and then the rest of the deck. You flip your top card, and then the fight begins. Now, your 4 suits each represent an ability. So if you play a club, whatever the number is you play, you're going to double that number for the attack. If you play a heart, whatever number that is, you're going to shuffle up your discard pile. You're going to count out that number and place it underneath your regular deck. If you pull out a diamond, you're going to take that number, and starting with the player who played the card, you're going to draw cards off the top of the deck. So if you play a 4, you get 1, your opponent gets 1. You get 1, your opponent gets 1, until you've gone into 4, or until players have maxed their hand size at their 7. And if you play a spade, it represents defense. So if I play an 8 of spades, it means I've done my 8 damage, but I also get 8 defense points. So if you're facing a jack who has 10 attack power and 20 health, well, now he's only going to do 2 damage to you, and you're going to leave him with 12 health. Now, the damage is taken care of as when a damage is hit to you, you have to discard cards from your hand until they add up to the amount or more. So if you get hit with a 2 of damage, you could toss out a 2 or a 3 or whatever you want. It's just if you had to throw an ace, because that's all you had, well, you'd have to play another ace to get that 2 damage taken care of. Now, you can only play 1 card at a time. However, aces are considered to be your creature companions, so they're weak, but they can add to it, meaning you could throw like an 8, and then you could throw an ace and make it a 9, but now it also doubles the abilities, meaning if it's a club and if it's a diamond, now you're doing 8 plus 1 is 9, club times 2 is 18 damage, 8 plus 1 is 9, plus you've got a diamond, so you're going to end up getting the 9 cards to each player. Now, the one thing you have to be prepped for in this game is that whatever thing you're facing, whatever its suit is, cancels the suit you're playing. So if you're fighting a club, there are no doubling with clubs anymore. If you're fighting a spade, you can't protect your life points. So you got to be prepared for that. And then what's really difficult is getting through these cards, because you get your 4 jacks, 10 attack, 20 power, 20 health. But then you get to your queens, 15 attack, 30 health. And then you get to your kings, 20 attack, 40 health. We played, and of course, like most people I think this happens to, our first play was our best. We got all the way to the kings, and we lost to the first king. We never saw a king in the next 5 games. We managed to always beat the jacks, but the queens were quite difficult to get through. It just turns out our first game was a lot of, I guess, luck. It's a game that's a good combination of skill and luck, because you can have an unlucky draw of cards or order of who you're facing, but if you're being skilled in how you're using your cards prior, there's a way to take advantage of that and try to make sure that you do the best you can. So it's an interesting little game, but why don't we judge it? Let's jump into our 7 categories and see what this one lands for us. When it comes to that art, I think that the box is it's fine. I mean, this is nothing special. It's just, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's a bad art. It's just, when you're dealing with one of these little decks of cards, the art of the box to appeal somebody in a store is a lot less. You're not going to a lot of stores that are going to carry this. You're probably getting this at 1 out of every 5 if you're lucky. It's more so you probably needed to get it when it was part of an investment, or you get lucky and you find it at a Savers or at a Goodwill, or you find it online if it's still available there. But this is not a huge print or anything like that, and so the art isn't going to really grab you when you're walking through stores. And when you're playing the game out, like I said, I think the art looks really nice on the cards. But they're not going to grab me to go buy that deck of cards. I can just play this with a regular deck of cards. I think it's really nice that they have it. But to me, the only important factor to this was that little instruction card that told me what the life was of everybody, what the ability was. That was the card I need, just so I remember how to play. Outside of that, the rest of it, the art just doesn't appeal me enough. I think it's okay, but it's not great. Thumbs down. Your components. Cards are very nice. I don't see any issue with these. They don't feel like they're flimsy. They don't feel like they're going to wear easily. You know, this is one where it depends on, I think, the usage of the game. But I think this is perfectly fine. Thumbs up. Your price. I mean, we just went into this. It's not widely available. 1 out of every 5 stores. Maybe you're really looking for it on discount racks. You know, my friend specifically said he found this on a discount rack. Is it going to be available online? Maybe, but the likeliness is this is going to be really hard to find online because this was really one of those games that probably came through like a Kickstarter or maybe GameFound or something like that. It just doesn't strike me as one that you're going to have the success you're looking for. So for me, it's not available enough. Thumbs down. Your difficulty. I think this game, what it taps into is a difficulty of something that's interesting. It's not bad, and it's not great. It's good, and it's frustrating in a fun way. We played this 6 times in a row, maybe 5. We're not sure. We couldn't remember. But we just couldn't get enough of the game because we kept feeling like we could do better, so we wanted to jump back in and play again. And that's kind of, for difficulty, a perfect area because it's like a beginner and a kid can enjoy this game, but an experienced and even an expert could still pull it out expecting to play a 5-minute game and end up playing for 40 or 50 minutes because they keep being like, man, we were close, let's try again, we got it. So to me, the difficulty is actually really good for all ranges. Thumbs up. Replayability. I mean, I just said it, how many times we play in a row. This game can fit into a small little crack of time you have available, but it also is a game that could just take up an hour for you. It's a fun game that has replayability. Thumbs up. Keys to victory. Now this is where it gets interesting because it's about how you spend stuff. Are you looking to go all out and try to wipe out your opponents fast? Or are you trying to protect yourself? Are you trying to keep your deck built? Are you trying to keep your hands at full? Are you trying to hold on to as many of the big cards as you can? It's an interesting balancing act of these. You know, there were times in the game where I was like, oh, well, I could use this combo and I could replenish the deck, replenish our hands, and hit him for a big hit. But he's going to come back and he's going to end up wiping out most of my hand because I'm not going to play any defense. Or I could play this really good defensive card. It's going to protect me. I'm going to take very minimal hit, but I'm not replenishing my hand. I'm not replenishing the deck. He's taking half the damage that I would have liked him to take. And as a result, now I have to hope my opponent doesn't get killed. Because if you die, your opponent dies. Either one dies, you lose. It's a co-op game. To me, the keys to victory are there. Thumbs up. Unique. Is the game unique? It's weird. Where exactly does it land? It is an interesting style of choice in how they're playing this game to other games I've played with a deck of cards. I don't think I've played one quite using it the way these are doing it, so it's actually really kind of cool there. At the same time, it almost feels like a co-op solitaire, which is a weird combination of words to use. I understand that. You know, you think of a solitaire game, it's by yourself. But to throw in a partner and say you're working together, but you're still having to get through this one deck, it feels to me like a solitaire style in a co-op fashion. I think that you would think that would hurt it, but it actually adds to why I think that this game is unique. Thumbs up. Overall, what do I think? It's a fun little trinket game. It's one that could definitely be a lot of fun if you're just looking to waste an hour. If you're stuck at an airport, if you're on the plane, if you're on a train, if you're waiting at the doctor's office with somebody, if you're at lunch at work and you have a friend who's sitting there with you. I think it can fill in some time. Is it worth hunting this down and trying to find it? I don't think so. Just go look it up online, find the rules, and play it with a regular deck of cards. But if you run into it, pick it up. Because I think that it is worth having the actual deck if it's cheap. If you're paying $5 or $10 for this, just grab it. It's not that much money. It's a deck of cards. It's not taking up a lot of space, and it's a fun game. Well, it has been day 262, and we've been speaking about the game Regicide. And you've been speaking to the Meeples Champion. Like, share, subscribe, and check down below in the description. I'll be adding an Amazon link so you can buy this game for your collection. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.